Ride the signal through the unknown. This is the cryptic current.
Do the names of the ship Titanic and the submarine Titan sound familiar to you? The Titanic is one of the world's most famous cruise ships, taking up to 2 years to complete. The water displacement is 46,000 tons, making it the largest passenger cruise, the most luxurious and convenient interior in the world at 7 o'clock, and it was dubbed unsinkable. In 1912, the Titanic's maiden voyage departed from Southampton, England, bound for New York, USA. Unfortunately, it collided with an iceberg in the North Atlantic. 2 hours and 40 minutes later, the ship's hull broke in two and sank to a depth of 3,800 meters. 1,517 people lost their lives, accounting for nearly 70% of the total passengers, which included Captain Edward John Smith. He chose to go down with the ship into the deep sea. The Titanic disaster shocked the world and became a name etched in history. And people know more about this event because of the famous film of the same name by director James Cameron. 1997 Straw Man. Due to technological limitations of the time, the exact location of the shipwreck could never be found. It was not until 1985 that the wreck of the Titanic was discovered. The ship's hull, due to years of barnacle and bacterial corrosion, gradually disappeared bit by bit. Therefore, many people want to witness its true appearance with their own eyes. And then some companies specializing in deep-sea sightseeing services were thus established. Titan is the name of a deep-sea tourist submarine that provides services to visit the Titanic wreck. Just recently, while conducting a deep-sea gun voyage in the North Atlantic, we suddenly lost power and went adrift. And the missing location is precisely in the sea area where the extremely famous Titanic shipwreck lies. And after the submarine Titanic incident occurred, it has shocked the entire world. Everyone wants to know what ultimately happened to the 5 passengers on the train. Even netizens managed to dig up prophecies about this shipwreck from many years ago, in which the entire Simpson family is terrified. So what exactly is this? Today we will talk about the Titan submarine incident. Hello everyone, I am Miss Ruby. In 2009, a private company named OceanGate was established in Washington. This company specializes in providing premium travel services to customers. Actually, companies like this are not uncommon in the capital market. But the vast majority of sightseeing submarines are manned, typically just for exploring natural landscape, like a lake bed at 10,000 fathoms, 500 meters below the OceanGate submersible can dive to much greater depths. Since 2021, OceanGate has begun taking tourists to visit the wreck of the Titanic. This company has 3 submarines, one of which is named Titan, coinciding with the name Titanic. It is 6.7 meters long, 2.8 meters wide, 2.5 meters high, weighs 10 tons, and can dive to a maximum depth of. A submarine capable of reaching such depths must possess a certain level of technological capability. The Titan submersible was made of carbon fiber, then covered with a spherical titanium hull. The submarine is equipped with devices such as high-resolution cameras, an inertial navigation system, and digitally can measure the depth, speed, and intensity that the hull must withstand in real time. The submarine has 4 thrusters, with 2 placed horizontally and the other 2 placed vertically. The speed can reach up to 3 knots, 5.6 kilometers per hour. The tail section houses the oxygen supply device along with other electronics. Inside the cabin, there are 2 display screens, which are used to control the submarine's operations via remote control. The pilot can also use it to perform functions such as turning lights on and off, and communicating with the ground. The passengers are like sitting in a small cargo car without seats, sitting on the floor with their backs against the curved partition. In addition to being able to observe the surrounding situation through the display screen, at the front of the submarine, there is also a small porthole with a diameter of 53 centimeters. Passengers can directly view the surroundings. This submarine is specifically designed for the purpose of visiting and observing the Titanic, and can carry a max. Typically, it carries 1 driver, 1 guide, and 3 paying passengers. The cost per person is $250,000, approximately 5. The interior space of the sightseeing submarine is very limited. 5 people can only sit on the floor, and there is no cockpit. There is a toilet in the front space. Actually, the space at the head is also a cabin door. When on the water surface, personnel can enter and exit there. The deceit and cunning mixed in the ship make people feel suffocated. Everyone can only sit cross-legged on the floor, which becomes uncomfortable after a while. It requires a certain level of endurance and the ability to overcome claustrophobia. However, to witness the Titanic's maiden voyage with their own eyes, passengers were often willing to endure it. The wreck of the Titanic lies in the North Atlantic Ocean, 640 kilometers southeast of the coast of Newfoundland, Canada. The Titan submarine, which provided this tour service, had previously dived near the Titanic wreckage 6 times in 2021 and 7 times in 2022. Its owner, OceanGate Company, described this thrilling journey as an opportunity to step out of everyday life, to explore something truly extraordinary. OceanGate Company has 3 submarines: Antipodes, Cyclops 1, and Titan. Among them, Titan is the only submarine capable of diving to the depth of the Titanic. In June 2023, after gathering a full crew of 5 people, OceanGate once again began its journey for the Titanic wreck. In the diving activities 2 years before this one, there had never been any issues, and this time even Jordan Dixon, the CEO of the driving company, was. But no one could have anticipated that this very time, a horrifying incident would occur. Friday, June 16, 2023, OceanGate and its 5 passengers began their 8-day journey heading towards the wreck of the Titanic. The 5 participants in this tour are 61-year-old Stockton Rush and 77-year-old Paul-Henri Nargeolet. Hamish Harding is 58 years old, Shazana Dawood is 48 years old, and Suleiman Dawood is 19 years old. Among them, Stockton Rush, the CEO of the American company OceanGate, was the pilot of a submersible for this expedition. Paul-Henri Nargeolet, a French former naval commander and Titanic expert, has dived to the Titanic wreck site 35 times. He has collected thousands of artifacts and participated in the production of 2 documentary films about. In 2010, he also participated in the search for the black box of Air France 447. Hamish Harding, British billionaire, explorer, graduate of Cambridge University. Harding owns an international aviation business headquartered in Dubai. With a driver's license for micro-vehicles, Harding has extremely rich personal experience. I love all kinds of adventures, having been to Antarctica and descended in a submarine to the Mariana Trench, about 10,000 meters. In 2022, Harding also had the crewed spacecraft of Jeff Bezos' company Blue Origin, the chairman of Amazon. With 5 other people, explore the universe. Harding himself also holds a Guinness World Record. The fastest circumnavigation speed around the Earth's 2 poles was achieved in 2019. The longest full ocean depth dive and the longest duration spent stationary at full ocean depth were achieved in 2021. Hamish Harding is definitely thrilled with the legendary character title. Shahzada Dawood, a billionaire in the shipping sector with Pakistani and British nationality. I have been passionate about the Titanic since I was a child, and I enjoy all kinds of. This time he even brought along his 19-year-old son, Suleiman. He wants his son to also experience this thrilling sense of adventure. Suleiman is currently studying at the University of Strathclyde in Scotland. The family said he had recovered from his fear before this trip. After gathering all 5 people, the research vessel Polly Prince docked at the city of St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. Bring the Titan submersible to the port, then proceed southeast to the sea area near the Titanic wreck. A day later, Polly Prince arrived at the dive site's waters. But due to weather conditions, they did not dive that day. One of the passengers, Hamish Harding, posted a status on Facebook. He said, "Newfoundland is experiencing its worst winter in 40 years. This mission is very likely the first dive to the Titanic." It was also the only passenger transport mission in 2023. The good weather window has just opened. We will try diving tomorrow. Another day passes by, Sunday, June 18th, 9:30 a.m. The Titan submersible's mission has officially begun. According to the plan, each complete tour to the Titanic wreck site, including diving down and surfacing, the total will take about 8 hours. After completing all preparatory work, the Titan submersible began its descent to the wreck site at a depth of 3,008. What does this depth represent? Take the world's tallest building currently, the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. With its 163 floors and a height of 828 meters for comparison, a depth of 3,800 meters is equivalent to stacking 4.6 Burj Khalifas. From the seabed to reach the water surface. To reach a depth of 3,800 meters requires 2 hours. With the Titan needing to send a safety signal to the surface every 15 minutes. At 11:15 a.m., meaning after the Titan had been submerged for 1 hour and 45 minutes, the surface crew completed the last communication with the Titan. And after that, the Titan completely lost contact with the surface. This means that the GPS and radio waves on the submersible were unable to function normally. It is highly likely that some incident occurred with the submersible. The crew working on the sea surface believed that, after a journey of a few hours, the Titan could return to the surface. Throughout the afternoon, the surface crew attempted to contact the Titan countless times. But from start to finish, they received no response whatsoever. By 4:30 p.m., this was the time the submersible was scheduled to surface. At this point, the surface crew realized the seriousness of the situation. It was certain that the Titan had encountered some emergency. And at 7:30 p.m., the crew reported the situation to the U.S. Coast Guard, and related search and rescue operations were officially launched. This operation was commanded by the U.S. Coast Guard, the U.S. Navy, and the Canadian Coast Guard. First, aircraft were dispatched to the sea area. The U.S. Coast Guard sent AC-130 transport aircraft and AP-8 anti-submarine patrol aircraft to participate in the search. They dropped sonar buoys to detect the underwater movement of the Titan submersible. Canada dispatched a Lockheed P-3 maritime patrol aircraft, equipped with submarine tracking devices. A few hours later, they detected sounds emanating from the seabed. According to media reports, the Canadian aircraft checked every 30 minutes and detected a banging sound. Since these sounds were captured by equipment on the aircraft, it was impossible to determine the exact location from which the sounds originated, nor could it be confirmed whether they came from the Titan submersible. However, this information seemed to bring hope to everyone. Perhaps the 5 people on board were still alive. The total oxygen supply on board, calculated from the time, could sustain them for a maximum of 96 hours. Considering that people may panic during an emergency situation, oxygen consumption would increase. Therefore, 96 hours of oxygen support is the most ideal scenario. In reality, the situation likely cannot last that long, and may only support up to 70 hours. So this is precisely a race against time. But because the sea area is quite remote and rescue operations face many difficulties, the current state of the ruins has several possibilities. Could be stuck somewhere on the seabed or have surfaced. Reportedly, the dilapidated sightseeing submarine is equipped with a time surfacing mechanism. Once it passes a certain time threshold, the submarine will automatically surface. The notable point is that these 5 drawers are locked from the inside by a latch installed on the outside. That is to say, the people inside the submarine cannot open the hatch themselves. Must remember to seek external help to succeed. This means that, even if the submarine is lucky enough to surface, then due to the enclosed cabin condition, they still have to rely on the ship's own oxygen supply system. Rescuers must find them before they run out of oxygen. After the incident occurred, several ships also successfully joined the search and rescue operation. As the Bahamas Deep Energy pipelaying vessel, it carries 2 autonomous underwater vehicles, but can only dive to a depth of 3,000 meters, not to the depth where the Titanic rests. As for the French research vessel La Hollande, it carries the autonomous underwater vehicle Victor 6. It can dive to a depth of 6,000 meters, deeper than the Titanic's depth of 3,800 meters. The Canadian fishing vessel Sabre GGS John Cabbage, equipped with the Sona Simrat FS-79 system. Canada's offshore supply vessel Atlantic Merlin, equipped with dozens of tow vehicles and 4,000 meters of steel cable. This length can reach the depth of 3,800 meters where the Titanic was. On the boat, there is an underwater autonomous vehicle. Canada's Horizon Arctic supply vessel, equipped with the highly advanced Odysseus 6K remotely operated diving system. Additionally, there is the Canadian offshore multi-role support vessel Stanley Vinland. The high-endurance multi-purpose vessel CCG's in Hattie of the Canadian Coast Guard's coastal patrol vessel, also Canada. After several days of searching, by the morning of Thursday, June 22nd, the 96-hour oxygen supply had been exhausted. At 1:18 p.m. that day, a high-tech remotely operated diving vehicle Odysseus 6K of the Canadian supply vessel Horizon Arctic, after 5 hours of underwater search, an important discovery has been made. At a depth of 3,800 meters, about 500 meters from the bow of the Titanic, a piece of debris was discovered. The confirmed debris includes the bow and the rear cover antenna. These parts have been confirmed to be assembly components of the Titan tourist submarine. And these fragments were not created by a collision. Long after the debris was discovered, OceanGate, the company that owns the Titan submersible, issued an official statement. All 5 people on the Titan submersible have died. The U.S. Coast Guard also immediately held a press conference, confirming that the debris found on the seabed belonged to the Titan submersible. The submarine has suffered an implosion, also known as a catastrophic inward explosion. Additionally, a few hours after the Titan submersible dove down, the U.S. Navy has captured acoustic signatures similar to those of a collapse. Therefore, it was concluded that an inward-directed explosion had occurred. This also means that all 5 people on the submarine have lost their lives. Underwater, for every 10.3 meters descended, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. The pressure endured at a depth of 3,800 meters below the seabed is approximately 40 million pascals, which is 380 times greater. A submarine in such an environment would have to withstand extremely high pressure. And this environment allowed the submarine to experience an internal directional explosion. The inward-directed explosion we are discussing here is different from a conventional explosion. This is a type of small insect that burrows inside at extremely fast speed. In less than 0.03 seconds, the Titan submarine was crushed and shattered, like tearing a piece of paper. And the brain's reaction time to the sensation of pain typically requires 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. This means that when the disaster occurs, perhaps these people do not feel pain. And then the search and rescue operation suddenly turned into a submarine salvage operation. Along with shock and sorrow, everyone is eager to know what happened that day after the submarine lost contact with the outside world. And it exploded at some point. Along with that, some of Titan's technical shortcomings were also exposed. According to the introduction on OceanGate's official website, the Titan submarine was designed and built through a collaboration between OceanGate, NASA, Boeing, and the University of Washington. However, after the incident occurred, Boeing and the University of Washington immediately issued statements denying any involvement in the design of this project. Additionally, in January 2018, David Lokerish, the former business director of OceanGate, proposed to the company's senior leadership that the technical technology of the Titan submersible has shortcomings. He believes that the fiber material of the bomb could pose a danger during the pressure cycling process. And then after that, David Lokerish was laid off by OceanGate. That same year, OceanGate also sued him in court, accusing him of breach of contract, revealing secrets, and fraud. Afterwards, the two parties reached an out-of-court settlement. According to findings, the tourist submarine Titan had not received the relevant certification for deep sea. The wreck of the Titanic lies in international waters and, under international law, is not under the sovereignty of it, so even without certification, there will be no legal issues whatsoever. David Pogue, a media reporter, shared one of his experiences before boarding the Titan submersible. Before boarding the train, he was asked to sign a document containing a disclaimer with the following content. Titan is an experimental submersible that has not been approved or certified by any regulatory body. It can cause permanent disability, psychological trauma, or death. The reporter indicated that there are 18 latches around the hatch, and the crew will secure these latches from outside the ship. But the strange thing is, at that time they only installed 17 of them. This matter really doesn't make any difference either. The notable point is that the inside of the tourist submarine Titan does not have a control cabin. Control is entirely dependent on the Logitech S710 type gamepad. The controller was launched in 2010 and is currently being sold online for $30. This is a wireless handheld controller that supports PC games. 2.4 GHz wireless connection, equipped with a dual motor engine, can be programmed to adjust the level of haptic feedback in it. Currently, you can still look up some information about it on the Logitech website. Compatible with Windows and Chrome OS systems. Coming to Titan is like playing a game. The difference is that, in the game, well, life can be regained. In reality, life is only given once. There are media reports that Wendy Ross, the wife of OceanGate CEO Stockton Ross, the butler of a wealthy couple, who luckily survived the Titanic shipwreck. The Titan network differs from the Titanic by only 2 letters. And the location where they occur is also the same place. This cannot help but make people find it strange. Just recently, netizens discovered that 10 years ago, a female DJ in Iceland. There was a Facebook post written about my dream. And the content is eerily similar to the Titan submersible incident. This Facebook post went viral after the Titan submersible was confirmed missing. It attracts 97,000 shares in just a few days. This island woman's name is Deborah Graddon. On November 1, 2013, she posted on Facebook that she had a strange dream. She dreamed that a billionaire started offering submarine tours to visit the Titanic. On this submarine's first voyage, it is unclear for what reason. The water inside the submarine had been pumped out, and the final outcome was a disaster. She also mentioned that this dream could potentially make for a great film. More fittingly, it is the classic American animated series. The Simpsons, always famous for predicting major future events, had done it again. In the broadcast 17 years ago, on January 8, 2006, episode 10 of part 17 was titled, the son of Homer, the main character who, in order to search for treasure, piloted a small, rather unreliable submarine. On the way back, an incident occurred. The submarine became trapped and ran out of oxygen. The details can be said to be similar to the recent Titan tourist submarine accident. This clearly added a bizarre color to the event. Although Myris, the screenwriter and producer of The Simpsons, denied that he predicted the Titan submersible incident. However, he also revealed that he had taken the Titan submersible to visit the Titanic wreck in 2022. But throughout the entire expedition, he remained very calm and did not feel afraid. However, this journey is fraught with danger. All passengers are required to sign a rather lengthy liability waiver before departure. And death is mentioned 3 times in the preamble of this document. And this also aligns with the earlier sharing from our reporter. After the Titan submersible incident occurred, it caused a worldwide shock, and people began to worry about the safety of similar submersible vessels. Another heavy blow to the submarine tourism industry. Famous film director James Cameron, before producing the movie Titanic, once personally rode in a submarine, visiting the Titanic wreck site 33 times. He is very familiar with sitting in submarines like this, and he also expressed his thoughts on this incident through the media. He was truly horrified by the incident involving the Titan submersible and the disasters so eerily similar to the Titanic, thinking that this is like a never-ending nightmare. Cameron also mentioned that he has been friends for 25 years with one of the 5 passengers, Paul Lonnie Nazarov. You really find it hard to accept the truth of losing this friend. Cameron is not only a screenwriter and director, but he is also an expert in deep-sea exploration. A few years ago, he once warned a submarine company not to use raw carbon fiber materials, because the hull structure made of this material has a fundamental design flaw. After the tragedy occurred, the issue of lacking regulations for supervising the private diving equipment industry was exposed. Titan never passed any third-party safety certifications. But many times when registering for manned operations, it can be said that this is always being in a state of risk. Regarding this issue, during an interview, Cameron called on regulatory agencies to establish normative regulations. Must conduct safety certification for diving equipment. Deep-sea diving is extremely dangerous, and the technical requirements for diving equipment are also extremely high. There are only about more than 10 submarines in the world capable of diving to depths below 4,000 meters. Among them, the most prominent is Australia's deep-sea submersible, the Deep-Sea Challenger. Once set a world record at a depth of 10,898 meters in 2012. At that time, director Cameron descended alone in the Deep-Sea Challenger to the Mariana Trench in the deep Pacific Ocean and remained there for 3 hours. Diving equipment that can break through to the 10,000 meter level is extremely rare worldwide, and this already represents the pinnacle of global technology. The vessel carrying the Titan submersible is the Canadian ship Polaris. Therefore, the People's Committee issued a statement to conduct an investigation into this incident. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police also stated that they had established an investigation team and had not ruled out conducting a criminal investigation into the accident. Perhaps soon the truth about what the 5 people in the Titan submersible experienced will be revealed. Through the Titan submersible incident, we can easily see the following points. First, the intense curiosity to explore the mysteries of humanity has always existed and remains immense. This is also understandable and cannot be considered blameworthy. Monday, the irresponsibility of placing profit too high by companies like OceanGate and the relevant organizing agencies, because they chase huge profits without prioritizing human safety. Tuesday, the strange thing that has not been clearly explained regarding the prophecies related. For example, television shows like The Simpsons and other prophetic predictions. And finally, humans truly are so small. Thinking of the 5 people who just lost their lives because the equipment couldn't withstand the high pressure, it inevitably makes me think of the video about how deep the ocean is that we talked about before. Marine creatures, whether large or small, live long-term at depths of 3,000, 6,000, or even over 8,000 meters without any problems. How about you? What do you think about these issues? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below the video. Our sharing session today will end here. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to share it with your friends. Watch from home. Thank you very much. Goodbye and see you again. Subscribe to the Amigo channel so you don't miss exciting videos.
If the signal hooked you, subscribe and catch the next ripple.